been like, I mean, I've had two nights where the water has just screamed my name in the middle of the night. So I've gotten up and just chugged this water. And, it's that contrast that allows us to have a deeper sense of appreciation and total embodiment for what we have as a gift. And I freaking love the human experience for that. So feeling super activated this morning that there's just like so much coming out of me. And then at the same time, these past 3 weeks, it's okay. There's so much development in this little one. Our daughter turned 1. I have a 1-year-old and an almost 9-year-old. It's crazy. And what y'all have been doing this whole time is running your businesses like bosses. Like Celia's got a business partner on this call. Steph's making calls like closing sales from the woods and the car and like handling life and alchemizing it in real time on her stories to bring more people to the water. Like, hey, Oda is here in real time. Let's go. Like Wendy's coming on camera. Dominique's showing up for her business and like her dreams in her life. And Jamie's here and brought her first business partner to the Enagic event. Like Sandy's taking the boys to the beach so she can be on this call. I see y'all. Like you're doing this. Amanda's got the best tan I've ever seen since she started this business. Can we just say that? And meanwhile, she has that simultaneously. Like, let's connect the dots. Take time to connect the dots of where you are right now and what it has taken for you to get to this call because her team is absolutely on fire right now. And she is like living her brand at the same time. Both of these things have to happen at the same time, which can feel like a lot. Like, oh, I have to actually live a life while building my business. Yeah, yep, you do. It's crazy, this lifestyle business, right? It's wild, but it's such a gift to be here with all of you. I'm so thankful and honored for the work that you're putting in your corner of the world because it has a massive ripple effect beyond anything that you can see right now. So keep going. And I'm just like, I'm grateful to witness all of you. I'm so honored to be a part of this. I'm learning so much. I've got so much coming out of me, and I just need to just soak in all of your magic and your wonder. And that's what we get to do on these calls. So thanks, Amanda, for holding it down for us. And yeah, stoked.
Always and forever. I'm so stoked to get to do this. So thank you all for being here and letting me rock what I got for you today. Torrin's got to win. A team of people who believe in themselves and trust in themselves. It's that literally, this is the eternal win that we've all got is this Ohana right here. Wow. Um, yeah, you cannot overstate that. Does anybody else have any wins that they want to share? That was such a great one, though. Thank you, Annie. This is what you
Always.
created. Just having everything just expand and grow and flourish is wow, right? Did Sandy say she's got a win too?
Yeah, it's kind of water related.
Let's
I'm
go.
studying deeper. One of my first calls I ever jumped on with you guys, somebody was enlightening me about human design, and it really intrigued me, but it was super confusing. It's like another language when you first learn about it. But I found this course that's letting me do a 4-week program for free, which is like blowing me away. And her message is the same as like Mr. Oshiro's and, a lot of these really enlightened entrepreneurs and stuff. And she has a goal to reach like, 10,000 people or something like that. And so she's putting it all out there for free and just educating people. And it's really helping me understand myself and my family. And I hope in my business as well, like getting to know myself better will help me be a better businesswoman and, just learn my gifts better and not struggles. I don't like that word. Areas that I need to, improve on. And it's just really lifting me up to feel more confident. And so, honestly, I'm learning a lot. So if anybody else is interested, it's just really intriguing. It can help you in business, yourself, your family, your friends. Like it's showing you the person that you were before the world, like kind of like programmed you, and it's
Imprinted on.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
Oh,
I'm just really excited about that. And it's lighting a new fire for all of this. And I just think, they say that Enagic is a self-development journey with a compensation plan, and that's all part of it.
amazing. Thank
I've
you.
been so inspired to work on myself ever since I met all of you and joined this. And I feel like that's even making me a little slower, but I know it's coming. And so I need to get over myself and start working more. But it was part of the process for me. So.
I love that. You know what? It's so huge. It's so true. We say it for a reason. This is a personal growth program with a compensation plan attached. It absolutely is because it is about becoming a whole new version of you with a whole new identity and entirely new priorities with a whole new set of tools and wisdom that's capable of being the successful, entrepreneur, right? That we all are striving to be, and it never ends, right? So.
Right. And I've always been like shy with my voice and stuff. And apparently, according to human design, that is my gift. So I'm like, what? I've been holding back my best gift? Like, oh
Ah,
no, seriously, right?
amazing. I love that you're unlocking that. So, congratulations on diving into human design. First of all, it's funny, I actually mentioned it once in this presentation, but I'm not getting into it. I'm not going deep, but just made a little note. So
Got
thank you
it.
for sharing that. All right. I see Hera with her hand up. Please, let's hear it.
Hey, hey, yeah, I had my hand up here, like I kind of jump on with all you activated ladies and not bubble over with something. And so my super major win is that I am settled into a new house that God has blessed me with. And the final move, like it was like the real deal that sealed it that I'm in a new place is, of course, that I got my setup. Yay, Kangen, Miss Kangen is in a new home, and it's just just new levels. So even as I haven't been so active in the on the online, but like very active here in my physical space, always drinking the water, sharing the water, and always just love hearing the testimonies for everyone here. Yeah, totally receiving it all. And it's just been such an investment, like when I think about like, okay, what am I supposed to say about all this thing about the water, whatever. But what God really gave me the revelation is, of course, that yes, I invested in a water technology machine, whatever, but it was really mindset. I invested in an upgraded mindset because I'm meeting, so much resistance, like, well, not resistance because people love when I share the water, but it's like when I mention the price tag, people is like, oh, that's so expensive. Oh, it's so this and that. Oh, it's so this and that. And I'm just like, thinking to myself, it's just like, no, it's not. And I just kind of like feel myself, not not saying that I'm on a different level, but just saying that my mindset has shifted. Whereas like, I actually don't think it's expensive. I think it's a great price, to invest in yourself and find yourself worthy of this water for you and your family and you and your community. I think that is just more worth than diamonds and gold. So so anyways, just super excited. I feel like there's been a lot of shifts happening for many of us, and sometimes we call it seasons, but like I feel like God, he's like revealing like a new chapter of life, where the former things, he's shutting a door to the former things, the former ways, and the former days of operating, where there has been lack and there has been strife and there has been tribulations, and it's just like, well, you have followed where I had left you, where I have led you, and so those things are not anymore. I have opened a new door, so so I'm just like really excited. Really
Man,
excited and so
good for you.
thankful, always just like, so amazing. I'm just like, I'm actually like present, I'm with a community of women who are just like rocking it, crushing it, just like so super full of like high vibrations. And it's just like, that's pretty awesome. Like I think that in like before investing, I didn't have that. Like to be in a group, to jump on a Zoom call where everybody's speaking and flowing abundance, So I think that is that is just the priceless in itself as well. So just thank you everyone, all of you who are so very committed and dedicated. I really appreciate it. And I love y'all.
I love you too. Big
Thank you.
that's with gratitude in a new home, leveling up her mindset. So much so that I felt the passion in your voice when you were like, it's not expensive. We just value our health. And this is actually an incredible deal for a medical device. I felt that. I felt that. So thank you for bringing that. And speaking of priorities, it's pretty much what this call is all about today. So I'm just going to go into my presentation, make sure. that you all can see my screen. Let's go back to the beginning. Basics. We're mastering the basics today. So just let me know if someone can come out. Is that visible for everybody? They can't see the chat anymore.
Yes, it's visible.
Amazing. Thank you. So, mastering the basics of your Enagic business. I have been so inspired to go back to day one and really start over with the wisdom and the knowledge and the tools and the incredible business partners that I now have, because there is really nothing like the gift of this business and the excitement and the enthusiasm that comes with starting your business, right? It is super magnetic. And where I'm at, reaching 5A, I realized like, wow, my next rank, I literally have to have the amount of points in my organization that I did just to get here. So I literally am starting over. And I've heard it from the incredible Destiny J. Parada, who is 6A2, that she is 1A every day. And I just thought, wow, that's profound. So I took it to heart. And, coming back from convention, I think that there's no better time to really just start over like it's the new year, because that is my New Year's celebration. So when we're talking about mastering the basics, it's so important. If there's nothing else, if nothing else, doing these things can take you, so much further than the shiny object syndrome that is so easy to fall for. We get to the point sometimes when we get bored of, going through the training platform, where it's like, okay, I need to make a funnel, and I need to have a website, and I need to have my own masterclass, and I need to get ads running, and we kind of lose our zest for the basics. So we don't want to do that, right? And so point here is that practice is what makes us professionals, and this is all about reps, right? We all know that. But it's so easy to forget. I almost forgot that when I started my business, I was listening to a couple of audios that were recommended to me by people who are very successful in this business. Namely, Your Wish is Your Command by Kevin Trudeau. I don't know if it's available anymore. And the Diamond Life podcast by Balaj W. Cardos, that is completely free and available on Spotify. I was listening to them on repeat over and over on 2 times speed a lot of the times, especially Balaj's podcast, because I kept hearing about this man who's like our way upline, who's like the top earner in this company or one of them, and how he was so successful in 90 days. And it's like, I need to listen to everything. I need to start from day one so that I can catch up to this guy, right? Imagine like that day one energy. You just can't replace, and you can't. Yeah, there's nothing like it. But what I really love to talk about now is what I learned from Kevin Trudeau in Your Wish is Your Command. And he is just an amazing speaker, an author, and business mentor that kind of teaches some of the secrets of like the secret societies that he was involved in, and kind of started going public with them, which I found really interesting and exciting. But his one of his main teachings is that mastering the basics is what is actually takes people to the level of excellence that's required to create their dreams, right? So it doesn't have to get crazy highfalutin. It's just reps. Like how many times can you do the basics over and over without getting bored, really? And so the 4 main parts or tenets and pillars of his teachings in Your Wish is Your Command was teachability index. And that is your willingness to learn in addition to your willingness to change. Your willingness to stay open and to stay learning, I think here is something important to look at, and to change over and over and over. Teachability index is really important, right? We see people sometimes get to a point where they're like, okay, I don't need to study this anymore. I'm good. And I'm sure many of you have felt that. I know myself, where I'm like, oh yeah, I know a fair good amount about XYZ, nutrition, herbs, whatever. I can do something else. And then you forget, right? And you're no longer the expert. So, teachability index. Are you willing to learn? Do you want to learn? Are you willing to change? Do you want to change for the benefit of your future and your dreams, right? The 4 stages of learning. Now I just put them in abbreviations, and they're just that UI, the CI, the CC, and the UC. It stands for unconscious incompetence. That's the beginning of learning something. You're not aware that you're incompetent. The next level is conscious incompetence. You are aware that you're incompetent. The next is conscious competence. You've started learning and become a little bit competent. And then the last is unconscious competence. You're not actually aware of how good you are, but you're not a master at that point, is the point. Being a master is not unconscious competent, it is being the eternal student. So it's repeating that cycle and doing it again. It's not interesting. Another part, the third part, was the training balance scale, and it really just puts awareness on the why versus the how, and how focusing on why you're doing your business is so much more important than the how of how you're going to get everything done. And so we always want to daily, if possible, go back to our reason for starting. And it's so amazing, when you start, you're so aware of why you started, the problems that this business is going to help you solve. And, like I just said before, sometimes we forget. So if you have just started your business, congratulations, you're pretty much exactly where all of us should be striving to be. And then the last, which he actually mentioned first, is who are you listening to? A lot of us have that down here. If you're here, you were listening to someone who has their ear to the ground in terms of health, financial freedom, and being a business owner, and how important that is in this day and age. You are more than likely listening to the right people. But it is important to listen to people that are not threatening your nervous system. So for the beginning of, while I was listening to Balaj and Kevin Trudeau and all these masculine people starting my business, it did lead me to a little bit of burnout. And I was kind of trying to foster this soft girl era for myself. So it didn't exactly make the most sense that those were the only people I was listening to, as successful as they are. So I started to learn that our nervous system is a huge part of success in this business, and being able to expand in a way that feels safe for our nervous system is really, really important. So I've shifted to a lot more feminine mentors. Not that I don't still listen to Balaj. Of course, I always love when a Diamond Life podcast comes out, and I am, after creating this masterclass, considering starting from the top and going again just to revive day one energy. So the energy that we started our business with often determines our results. But the good news is that we can start over every single day, right? If we don't feel like we started. So amazing. You get to open your eyes and get the gift of this business every single day. So that day one excitement, like I mentioned before, is the most magnetic energy, right? So we want to channel it every time that we share what this is. And we want to stay open to the magic of what's possible, just like we were when we invested and we're waiting for our products. And we tried them and we set them up for the first time. And we're like, OMFG, right? That OMFG is like, that's it. That's all you got to do sometimes. But so again, in the beginning is when we are most willing to learn and to fail, which is so important. You don't succeed your way to success, right? You fail your way to success. So we're willing to do that at the beginning, and we're willing to do whatever it takes as beginners. And we're the least likely to be complacent. Like I mentioned before, like, okay, I'm good at this. I'm going to stop studying this. So again, masters are actually students. And I've seen this time and time again. And it's the enthusiasm, again, that will beat expertise at any level of your business. That's the beauty of this business. You really don't have to be an expert with all the knowledge and the how, right? When you know why, and your why is big enough, and you are just so passionate about it that you can scream it off the mountaintops, people are going to pay a lot more attention to that than someone who's like, yeah, so this hydrogen is like the most powerful antioxidant known to mankind. It's pretty legit. Dude, you need to try this water. Like, you need to try this water. Just drink it. It's not going to kill you. Just come back to me in a few days. Like, that's a little more exciting, right? That'll turn a few more heads then. the studies on hydrogen are crazy, guys, right? So again, how obsessed were you with the training platform on day one? I know I probably listened to at least 2 of the training videos when I first got access. If that was you, drop a 2 in the chat and make some noise for the incredible Evolution Era platform that we have access to that was created by our incredible leaders. Okay, going into the basics, right? Because that's what we're here to do. There are things that we want to be doing daily, and this is not to say like feel bad about yourself if you missed one. That's what this business is for. It's giving you the freedom. But if you do want to get to 6A and you do want to be successful, there are some basics that you are going to want to, like working out, do every day. So in the training platform, we talk about DMOs and IPAs. And so these are just daily methods of operation and income producing activities. DMOs are basically the things that you're doing to create the identity of a successful entrepreneur, right? I've heard this many times that entrepreneurs are actually athletes. So are you working out? Are you drinking your water? Are you meditating? Are all the things that just rev your engine, prime it, and keep it in tip-top condition for you as the entrepreneur. And then the IPAs are the actual income producing activities that actually move the needle forward in your business in terms of making sales. So both of them are core practices for building the foundation of a healthy business and life. They're going to vary slightly for everybody according to our archetypes or human design. There you are, Sandy. I mentioned human design. So the basic IPA concepts are what we're going to talk about here because we're talking about the basics of an Enagic business. And for any business, it's really number one, sharing your offer, whether it's in social media, on social media, or in person. There is no amount of sharing your offer that is too much, right? There is no amount of eyeballs that is too much to get in front of. So it's important that we get those reps in, shouting off the mountaintops what we have. And, going through the platform will really help you get clear on what your offer is, and finding what's unique about how you want to share it, right? But we're going basics here. So sharing your offer is number one. Number two is starting new conversations with qualified leads every single day. And qualified is important because we want people who are actually looking for something like this, who are actually just praying for something like this, like most of us probably were. That's another thing I want to know. If you were praying for this business, drop a 333 or something like it to change your life when it came into your life. I'm going to put my proverbial 333 in there because that was me. Oh, and thank heavens that the Lord answers our prayers, right? We just got to be listening. So we got to be sharing our offers. We got to be starting new conversations with qualified leads. So get ready to learn and improve your communication skills, your fear and your resistance to starting new conversations with people. Get ready to confront that and following up on conversations that you have ongoing. I have faced some fears with following up because I don't want to be that circle back girl. It's like, oh yeah, we haven't talked for a while, but about the thing I showed you, guys, it doesn't have to be like that. This is something that you'll get good at. We just want to be genuine and really reconnect. If we haven't connected for a long time, just connect. It's amazing the amount of people that I've had conversations with in the last week that we've talked about the business. But one woman specifically, I just went to check in and see how she's doing. And I was just like, hey, how are you doing? How are you in the new home that you said you were moving into? And remind me again, like, where that is. And it was just totally unrelated to the business. And as she ended up saying, like, thank you so much for checking in on me. I really appreciate that. And she added that, like, just know, like, the business, the water and water quality is goals and a priority for me. And I didn't even bring it up, but I was like, I know you're going to fly with it when you're ready to. So that's awesome. So we're following up, right? We're following up authentically and not weirdly. And we are inviting, number 4, inviting someone new to check out your offer. If you can't do that every day yet, don't worry. It will become a muscle like anything else. Just keep practicing the basics, and eventually you will be inviting 3 new people maybe on a random day. Oh, I gotta let Steph back in the chat. I'm gonna come or into the room. And while I'm here, I'll mention Destiny's comment that after I let Steph in, I feel bad that she is waiting. But I was reading that. Where is she? Okay. We're letting Steph back in, and then we're sharing this golden little nugget about Annie's follow-up with Destiny. She sent Destiny a story from Lacey Dawn with a stack of checks and a message saying, "This is possible," or something like that. Genius queen. Like, yeah, follow-ups can look like anything. Just get creative and follow your intuition, and you might have a business partner like Destiny Parada coming in with you, coming in hot. So the main thing to remember here is that simple scales and fancy fails. Who in this room wants to get to 6A? Drop a 6 in the chat if that is your mission. Okay, so the momentum is going to come from consistency, right? Or I like to say repetition, because that actually sounds a little more fun. Consistency to me sounds very disciplined. So let's just be repetitive. Let's just do it over and over and not be complex about it, right? So drop a 777 in the chat if you want getting to 6A to be simple. I know I do. So what is it that we're actually doing? What do we do and what are we going to do when we wake up and start our business every single day, right? We're doing sales and we're doing marketing. We're doing a lot more than that, but these are the basics. So sales is serving, it is solving, and it is closing. It is serving the people that we are listening to and learning about by finding their problems and solving them so that they close themselves, because what we have, we've made it clear how powerful it is going to get them from point A to point B. And I just have to mention the amazing water code that Amelia dropped in her 6A to 6 in 6 months masterclass that I was just listening to this week and drew a little bit from for this call. But she mentioned a water code that I have not heard before, and I just thought, how profound. Everyone needs to know this. If you haven't heard this before, you're going to love it. If you have, good on you. But so a sail on a sailboat, right? What does it do? It holds the wind, right? And so that's what actually is getting the passengers from point A to point B, right? So what we're doing is literally creating a sail on our ship, and we're doing that for our passengers, and we're taking them through a transformation that is going to get them where they want to go. So beautiful. I love that one. And we're doing marketing. So sales is a lot easier when our marketing is done right, correct? So marketing is being seen. It's being seen by the right people. So our strategies that we can use are organic, which are free visibility strategies, or paid, which are ads, or getting into the local chamber of commerce or the local BNI, Business Networking International, and to amplify our reach even more. And we are developing our own personal brand. And this is really our compass for the content that we're creating. We're honing in on our story. We are getting clear on our messaging, what our message is to the world about this and ourselves and our story and our pillars, the things that are super important. And again, these are things that you can fine tune by going through the Evolution Era platform and going through the training over and over and over, right? It's not just a one-time thing. Like I said, you're never done. So become a master student of the Evolution Era training platform. And that's half of it right there. And then we're also doing personal growth, which is, like we said before, we are creating new priorities and creating new identities for ourselves that we are stepping into and embodying. And that's probably the other half of this business, right? If not more. Something important to know, we're going to get back to sales a little bit. We're going to talk about marketing, right? Because that is the foundation for sales. But 90% of sales is listening and learning about your clients, right? Because our clients are going to close themselves, but we need to listen and learn about their problems because they are going to tell us how we need to present our offer to sell them. That's it right there. So the important thing is to prioritize connections though over product puking. We can present and answer questions a little bit, but the main thing is to create relationships. So because people are the lifeblood of our business, right? You're not in business if you are not able to communicate and develop relationships and connect with people on a real authentic level. So that's marketing 101 is who we're talking to. We got to know who we're talking to. And again, connections and relationships being the life of your business, it pays to be obsessed with who exactly it is that you want to help. And so for me, I just listed a few examples that have helped me get clear that I'm talking to surfers who love to do yoga, I'm talking to holistic mamas that like to garden, I'm talking to women that value clean living, and I'm talking to free thinkers who love traveling, maybe biohacking. And these can always change, but pretty much I'm pretty certain that this is who I'm talking to right now. But we evolve, right? So it's not like have to get it perfect on the first go around. But you do want to get clear on who you're talking to right now. And it's most often, especially when you're starting out, it's you. It's you a week ago. It's you now. It's you from 6 to 12 months ago, more often than not. And so it makes it easy to build connections around shared interests when we know ourselves, right? We're just pretty much talking to ourselves. So the next thing that is a basic of marketing is, again, people related. It's our audience and how to grow an audience that actually cares, full of the people that we're actually wanting to talk to. So again, refer to and study and apply the organic marketing masterclass and training videos in our Evolution Era platform in the GPM base. But the basics are we can use hashtags that our ideal client avatar uses to find new people. We can follow and comment on influencer accounts that we feel aligned with. It's a big one. And we can join relevant Facebook groups. That's a huge one to post our offers or just ourselves and our identity and resonate with people. Speaking up in those groups has made a lot of connections for me, to be truthful. And I had a lot of resistance around that, but lately it's getting me new connections and leads. So that's really fun. Don't hold back from facing the fears of getting in and speaking up in a Facebook group. And DMing new connections daily and authentically. That is really important for engagement. The last little bit about marketing 101 is that nobody really cares what you have or know until they know how much you care. And the algorithms actually reward this. So we're prioritizing being interested in people, not just how interesting we are, right? That's for our own permanent content on our storefront, which is our social media. But when we're interacting with people, which is how we're forming the lifeblood of our business, the relationships, we want to be interested in them. And so we get out and do that ideally 2 times daily before we post and after we post. It's a great strategy that, again, is detailed in our training platform. And if you're posting 2 times a day to grow your audience, you're going to engage before and after. So that's going to have you engaging 4 times daily. Ideally, again, it doesn't have to be perfect. As long as you're getting the reps in, you can engage once in the morning, once at night after you're done posting, but just make sure that you're doing a little bit each day. So again, the algorithm is going to reward connections by boosting your post. Start with genuine interaction, though. That has nothing to do, like I said before, with your product or your offer or your business, because people will smell a salesperson and a sales vibe from a mile away, right? You do. So be careful of that. So we are also creating content, aka your storefront. I'm like, oh, I just said this. So the basics of that are using ChatGPT when you feel like if you just want to use it to start. But ChatGPT is really great at pulling up the thoughts that maybe you hadn't thought yet. So use it to discover and explore all of the pain points or struggles, or what I wanted to say when Sandy said she didn't like the word challenge, struggles before, it was challenges of your ideal client avatar and their desires, because that is a more hydrated way to approach your ideal client avatar. Number two, make head turning graphics and videos. We want to be taking and recording content, taking photos all the time of things that maybe we don't even think will be interesting, but maybe they might. Maybe they're aesthetically pleasing and they will be head turning and eyeball catching. And then we can use AI again to get eye catching, attention grabbing hooks and calls to action that we want most often in our copy. The pains, their struggles, their challenges are your pitch, and their desires are the dish, right? We've heard Alex Hormozy often talking, and I think even Daniel G says this, like when you're presenting your offer, you're not presenting like all the fine details and all the things that they're gonna have and have to do and the step this and that and that. You're selling the dream. So you're selling, like Maui is how they present it, which is funny because for me that literally is the dream. So that's the dish that you're feeding up as often as you can. And then, the pitch, the hooks, oftentimes getting people interested is letting them know and relate, or letting them know that you relate to their pain and that you understand them, right? Then they're a little more likely to listen to the dish and maybe be excited to eat it. But we're going to share our pillars. We're going to share our core messages and our hero's journey with these eye grabbing, head turning graphics and the hooks that we've created using ChatGPT again to help us really hone in on our ideal client avatars. And lastly, repetition is the secret, because we're also going to be sharing our stories, and we can't feel ever like we're being too repetitive, because when you start to feel like you're being repetitive, you are just starting to get heard. This is something I've realized. Not everybody sees every post that you made, so fall in love with repeating yourself and go back to your why every single day. There's always something to share related to your why in a new way or in the same way, honestly. And then the other thing that we do is we share water. Right. So this has its own slide because it is so important to get water in bodies, as we talked about earlier. So have a protocol, always offer to share the water for a minimum of 2 weeks. Have 4 to 8 glass 1 gallon jugs. You can get them cheap on Amazon because, guys, don't do it in plastic. It will not taste great and the hydrogen will dissipate, and glass is a much better presentation. So have your glass gallon jugs. You can get stickers with your own branded unique stickers, and use Sticker Mule. They're really great because they make waterproof stickers that are nice and affordable. It's just something that is basic and important, right? Because the basics are so important. And ideally have your leads refill every 2 to 3 days if possible. And if they're not local, they can use our global water share map. You can use that to find them someone who is, or as Annie actually mentioned today in the Telegram chat, you can go on GPM Facebook group and search for a location, which I thought was brilliant, and see who comes up and DM them if they didn't respond to you through the GPM app. I love that, Annie. Thank you for sharing that. The other thing about sharing is having a loaner machine. It's the best way to share because the water is fresh and they have the ability to experience every pH, as well as the incredible technology of the machine itself. You can even have a loaner Anespa or MGuard. I recently started thinking about. And to just conclude, this is one of the few business opportunities where the free samples that we give are unlimited. So take advantage of this and remember how you wish someone had shared the water with you years ago, right? I know I'm not alone in that. So let's talk about sales, the invitation. So once we've done our marketing and we've got interested leads, we are going to invite our leads to a 3-way discovery call with your mentor until we hit 4A, or we feel like we're really competent and able to handle and close sales on our own. We're going to keep it casual, and we're going to say like the next something like this, but you're going to rephrase it in your own words, and you're going to study sales and go through the platform and come up with your own little scripts. That the next step is to jump on a quick call and go over how everything works and answer your questions. And this is where you can offer 2 different times and let them pick, right? Because being able to choose between two is a lot easier than coming up with your own answer in your own time. I have Thursday at 3 p.m. and Friday at 4 p.m., which is best for you. So again, keep it casual, set the appointment, and confirm with them the night before. It's so important to confirm with them the night before. And again, you can do it like an hour before or 10 minutes before to make sure they've got the link and they're able to attend and be focused. And the other thing is to make sure that all the decision-making parties are present or can be present for the call. If you need to reschedule it so they can be, that is crucial, because odds are they're not going to be able to represent the information, the activations that are going to go on, the whole energy shift on that sales call to their partner, and it's going to add resistance. So we want them all to be present, right? If they don't cancel or they don't confirm, this is a great strategy. Cancel on them before they ghost you. Being ghosted is part of this, but what you can do is just shoot them a message if you didn't receive a confirmation and say, "Hi, so and so, I noticed you didn't confirm our appointment, so I'm going to respect both our time and just allow you to reschedule." Send them your calendar link, say, "Here's my calendar," so you can choose a time that works best for you. And if you do have a client ghost, say, what you can do, I learned this from Amelia, great trick. You can pretend that you also showed up late to the call from a previous call and didn't even realize that they ghosted. Shoot them a message apologizing for being late and give them another chance to reschedule. It just opens the conversation back up without even like acknowledging that you got ghosted. Okay, the last part about sales is service, right? So people will change when they're activated, and it's a good idea to ask them sometimes if they're okay with you asking questions that might be uncomfortable, but might be what they need, or giving reflections that they need to hear. So asking permission is really great for that. When you get to doing your own calls, you'll frame it. You'll meet them and greet them, introduce. This is for a 3-way call too, and specifically introduce and edify them to your mentor and to each other. And then you can let them know this is to lay out all the details of how this works for them and everything they need to know so that they have all the info in their back pocket for whenever it is that they're ready to take action and move forward. And this takes the sales pressure off. This drops the shoulders, drops the resistance, because it gives them a way out. Like, okay, I don't have to make a decision today, right? It's important to give them the freedom. And just say something like, to open, because we want to get them talking, "I'd love to hear more about you now. What has been working for you and what's not?" You can also ask something that Brody Nitro likes to ask is, "Okay, so remind me again what the main issue is that you're looking to resolve by making more money online." And this is where you just shut your mouth, you listen, you can take notes, right? And it's important to get to these quickly, because on a sales call, you don't want to spend too much time like really like connecting or whatever, because you're not here to be their friend. You're here to be their guide and their advisor, right? So it's important to posture yourself that way and just dive right into it. Something you can do is say like, "Okay, talk to me. Like, what's going on in your life right now? And how do you feel like, how do you feel about changing that? Or just tell me what's going on. Talk to me." And then shut your mouth. Listen to everything they have that's going on, because that is your ammunition to present and close the sale, or have them close themselves, really. And once you've listened, once you know how you're going to present or guide them, you're going to say, "Okay, so something like, so what did you like most about what you saw in the videos? Or how do you see this fitting into your life or vision? What is the dream? You tell me, what's Maui?" And then, after you listen to them give you all their reasons why this is for them, you can ask a question like this. "Okay, I love that. So on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being, maybe you found something else that you think is going to get you where you'd like to go and you're just not interested in this anymore. Or a 10 being you are ready to go take action. You know that this is the thing and you want to take it and run with it. How much of a priority is getting started with this to you?" And that number will keep them accountable because it's coming out of their mouth, right? And so if you don't take action on this is another great question to ask. And you continue on the same trajectory as you are now, how will that look for you? And that's just a great final way to get them to reflect on what life would be like without this. And then you can briefly share how they will be supported according to their desires by you, what kind of mentorship you can offer or we can offer, our platform, our weekly calls, or Telegram chat. And then you close. And make sure along the way, if they are hesitating, if they're like looking uncomfortable, you don't ignore that. You address that and ask them, like, hey, I see that you made a face with that. Do you want to tell me why? And we can unpack that a little bit. Anything that you feel like is natural for you to say, so you can explore that and find out more about why they're either shaking their head no or making a face. It's important so that by the end you shouldn't have any objections. But if you do, handle them quickly, handle them first, and be really considerate and agree with them. You can ask them, what questions they have for you. And if they have an objection, ask them, very importantly, if that's the only thing holding them back, because we want to isolate objections, right? Or if there's anything else that's stopping them. And once that objection is isolated and overcome with something like, okay, so and so, what information would you like to see that will help you decide? And you can, let them know, like, okay, I'm going to send that over. You can go back into your presentation by giving a little, okay, but before I send that email and let you go, can I make a suggestion? Or can I, would you like if I go over this? Do you have your permission to go back over this? And if that objection is isolated and handled, and you go back and you present, you can say after that, based on everything that you've told me, which is a really important part to always close a sales call with, because you're using their own words and they have felt seen and heard, and they know that you get them. Based on everything you've told me, whether it's they need extra income, they have health problems that have just not been resolved, or they're just totally done with the 9 to 5 lifestyle and they're ready for this business, I recommend starting with X package at 18,000 US dollars, or the trifecta, say 11,000 US dollars, or just a K8 at, 54.89. And here is why. And you're going to let them know why this is what you recommend. And then you can close by saying, if you have 15 minutes, would you like me to help you apply for funding or financing, or just to put the order through for your products? And just work, casually, confidently, though. Like, that they know that they need this. And just remember, this isn't a marathon. This is a marathon. It is not a sprint. So results are going to take time and repetitions, but they are more than just sales and commission checks. And those usually take a lot longer than expected to start coming in. Obviously, Enagic sends them out, immediately. But sometimes, it doesn't happen right away that you start closing sales left and right. So prioritize who it is that you're becoming, because that is an immediate result, right? And celebrate others' success. It is so important to not just celebrate others' success, but to leverage it as your social proof when you don't have any, and to celebrate it often and publicly. Another thing is that a lot of people will quit right before the breakthrough. Um, it's true that inconvenience will expose everybody's level of commitment to this. But trust builds over time. So stay in the game and never give up, because longevity in this is actually what creates your credibility. People see you staying in it and they're like, oh, she wasn't messing around. Okay. So what got you here where you are to this room is amazing. You took risks, right? So keep taking new risks and doing hard and uncomfortable things, because what got you here will keep you here. So it's time to take some new risks, right? Keep learning, keep applying. So, can't say this enough. Watch the Evolution Era training videos and take notes actively, and apply what you learn right away. Study sales. Studying sales and studying communication is one of the things that you will always be doing to get better and better and make more sales and more money to build your dreams. So, learning how to ask the right questions, how to listen to people, to truly hear them, is going to help you be a guide that is actually able to have a healthy ship, because a rising tide lifts all ships, right? With healthy sales, taking people where they want to go. Now find finding a CRM system that works for you is also important. It's important to stay organized. I say this and I put this in here just because having a list, whether it's just on paper, Steph has had a notebook with her clients listed, and I just thought that that is like prime to not have to have your eyes glued to a Google sheet. I love the way that she does that. Um, but you can use Trello, you can use Google Sheets, you can use a notebook. But having your clients or your leads listed out in front of you is that reminder that like you've got a healthy business and you've got stuff going. So having that visual is actually really powerful. I used to kind of like not believe in tracking leads and just going with the flow, but guys, there is something to it. There's a reason Balaj is where he's at, and so many of us, so many people are where they're at. And study the compensation plan. Know your numbers. Know how much you're making with a sale of a trifecta or a K8 or a quad. Just a little test here. Does anybody know how many trifecta sales it takes to get to 6A? And I can't see the chat, but I'm curious who guessed that it's 33, right? Because three products, 33 times is 199 sales. But you get the point because you've already probably bought a trifecta of your own. It's important to know something like, okay, so a quad, right? That's 4 products. How many sales would it take, quad sales, to get to 6A? That's an easy one, right? 25 quads, 25 sales, 25 people who want to go business forward, and you are 6A, right? And you don't have to do it all by yourself, right? You've got a few quad sales. You've definitely got a few business builders that are going to sell quads too. So, right, let's know our numbers. Let's keep that fresh in our minds. And learners are earners. Note takers are money makers. I see you here taking notes, and I am so excited for you. So, reading books is an important thing. I don't want you to feel like if you didn't read 10 pages today, you're not moving forward, because everybody is different, right? Everything is different for everybody. What moves the needle forward for you might not be what moves the needle forward for me. Like reading books may give me like a 1% boost in my productivity or my energy, whereas maybe Annie reading books gives her 30% more activity while doing something like, oh, walking my dogs on the trail or meditating for me is what gives me that 30%. So you'll know what that is that you need to focus on. But reading is important as a practice in general. And we just have some recommendations here if you want to write them down. Mr. Oshiro's biography is a non-negotiable. Okay, I'm reading it right now and I'm like, Lord, this man is the inspiration. Everybody needs to read this book. It is so powerful. There is so much sauce and juice just for you. It's like a spiritual journey to go through Mr. Oshiro's story and to be so impressed and in awe and passionate about him, right? It is really bringing me to day one energy. I think it's like $15. You can get it from the Enagic's our regional offices or from the website. Please read Quenching the Thirst for Global Success. Amelia also recommends GoPro by Eric Worre. I loved The Magic. We read that as a group. I read it individually. It's just a great experience to read The Magic by Rhonda Byrne. The Compound Effect was one of the first books that I listened to on audiobook. It was one of those like, wow, anything is possible type of books. And the kind of business that we're in, The Compound Effect is so powerful. So that's an exciting one if you want to read that. The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, talk about personal development. The 12-week year to really fine tune your productivity, and 10x is easier than 2x. When you're ready to take things to the next level, I am obsessed with 10x. So what you repeat gets remembered, and what you remember gets repeated. Get repetitive on your social media and never get bored of the basics. Boredom is the test to see if you're actually ready and determined to go to the next level. And also, it is natural for us to fear rejection, but it's important for us to remember that fear is what's necessary for growth. Fear is that green light that we should actually just be excited about and face it head on. Because someone said, like, you're actually getting paid for the no's that you hear, not the yeses in this business. I don't know how much I agree with that, but you're not going to hear those yeses without hearing those no's, right? It's just like we have to get used to and just treat it like, I'm sorry, this is the analogy I thought about before I call, but anybody ever like just farted randomly and was just like super casual about it? Like, yeah, whatever, not embarrassed at all. It's like that. Like a no is just like a fart in the wind that you're not embarrassed about. Like stop being embarrassed that you got rejected and just go for like, go take a poop, like go get the sale. That's the yes. It's just a fart. It's not gonna kill anybody. So, final thoughts. Your business is unique. Don't let comparison steal your joy or curb your enthusiasm, right? Because enthusiasm beats expertise all day. Your main goal is to stay in front of people and stay getting in front of new people. So keep sharing, whether it's in person or online. Guys, I know the water's incredible. This business is incredible too, right? So flex it. Do not like fear being cringe, or do fear being cringe and do it anyways, because it is too life changing, this business. And business builders is what you want on your team, right? So flex this business, and celebrate your wins publicly. And that's how we do flex this business. We share our wins, we share our numbers, our deposits. So slay all the shame and you win the game. I thought of that one myself. I was pretty proud. Don't just listen to the Diamond Life podcast. Don't just follow Instagram accounts that are incredible and inspiring to you, with amazing success stories. Share them and share them often, right? If you're ever like wondering what to talk about today, share something from Lacey Bonds or someone who's just killing it in Enagic, because this is work, right? It's repetitive, right? We got to be able to do that and get excited about the muscles that we're building and just make it part of our lives eventually. But stay excited about it. Stay in day one, because energetics are running the show. So if you ever feel like, oh my gosh, I have to work on my business, remember, you get the freedom based business that you got. You already have it. You are so far ahead of so many people who don't. And that is why you are a leader and you are here to help them. So give yourself credit, measure backwards from where you were last year. You're right where you're supposed to be. So trust that and trust yourself. And last but not least, it is you that comes first over your business. So hydrate yourself, breathe, move, smile, embody the leader that you would want to follow. And if anyone wants to take a screenshot of this before we hop off, I borrowed this from Amelia's call. It is a simple mini launch plan, for anyone who does agree that starting over can be so powerful and we should do it every day. Step one is sharing your story. Super simple. So craft a short version of why you started. Focus on health and freedom and transformation and impact, whatever is alive and real for you. Focus on that, because you are calling in you, more you. And practice sharing it over and over in your stories, your reels, and your copy. Step two, invite people. Invite warm leads, ideally. So choose a few people that you genuinely want to share it with, list them out, and I am going to talk to those people today, right? So send them each, do it. Send them a voice note or a personalized invitation. You can offer to send them a video, a web class, or a short call if they're really interested. You can add them to our Facebook group. You can invite them to the next open call. You can also give them a free PDF or access to the online ripple effect, which is Amelia's platform. She's kind of like our upline between Evolution Era and GPM Ballages. And she's got a free section and a whole platform where you can actually bring leads to and show them how incredible of leaders and trainers and testimonies that we actually have. So thank you guys so much for all of your time. I know we went a little bit over. So if you can, get out there and apply something that you took from this call.